This is the FCTO Daily Forex News Report for March the 25th, 2013. Early this morning, the Cypriot President and the European Union finally reached an agreement on a bailout deal for Cyprus. The deal lines up €10 billion in financing for the government and calls for Cyprus's second largest bank, Lakai, to be shut down and split into a good bank and a bad bank. The good bank part of Lakai will be moved into Bank of Cyprus, the country's largest bank, which survives in the new agreement, although aggressively downsized. Deposits below the EU guarantee of 100,000 will be spared, while unsecured deposits and bondholders in Lakai will be wiped out. Senior creditors and bondholders will have to take some losses, and large depositors in Bank of Cyprus will also take a hit, which according to several media outlets could be as high as 40%. However, the level of losses for large depositors will not be clear until later today. The deal has been ratified by EU finance ministers, and the Cypriot Parliament does not have to vote again, as it passed a bill last week which gives power to impose capital controls and wind up Lakai, splitting it into a good bank and a bad bank. Over the weekend, there has been a lot of uncertainty about the outcome of negotiations, but a deal was eventually reached at the 11th hour, as the European Central Bank would otherwise have cut off emergency liquidity to Cyprus's banking system today. Even though it is positive that we have an agreement and that deposits below the EU guarantee of 100,000 are spared, the problems are far from over. Capital control and losses for depositors with money over the deposit guarantee creates a dangerous precedent for future bailout negotiations. Thus, the risk of bank runs and capital flight in Greece and Spain in the future has increased significantly, and in the event that new renegotiations are necessary in the two countries, it could provide further unrest, since money can flee the country for fear of loss. The news about the bailout agreement has triggered a relief rally in financial markets, and most regional equity indices in Asia are trading higher this morning. Nikkei is up 1.8% and the Hang Seng is up 0.75%. In the Forex markets, Euro-US dollar has traded almost a figure higher overnight and is currently seen trading around the 1.3040 level, as the bailout deal has eased concerns about Cyprus and reduced some of the tail risks on the common currency. With the bailout deal on Cyprus reached late yesterday evening, risk sentiment is expected to be slightly more positive today. Importantly, the deal does not need approval by Cyprus's parliament, because it is now structured as a bank restructuring and not a tax on deposits. Today there will be a focus on the details in the agreement, including the effective haircuts for depositors above 100,000 and the restrictions on capital flows that are expected to be formally announced by Cyprus today. In Italy, focus will be on Bersani's continued attempts to form a new government. So far, Bersani's goal seems to be a minority government reliant on votes from other parties in the parliament. In Italy, there is also an auction of government bonds that should get some attention in the market. Finally, Fed Chairman Bernanke and Bank of England Governor Mervyn King will both be speaking in London in connection with a conference this evening. Later today, New York Fed Dudley is also due to speak. For all the news affecting the Forex markets throughout the day, please join us at forexcurrencytradingonline.co.uk. That's forexcurrencytradingonline.co.uk.